Hey everybody, Omar here. Welcome back to part 3 of my top 7 list. This time we're going to be taking a look at my small customs. And the top 7 small customs that I've chosen are what you're seeing here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the knives and let you know why I've chosen these to be in my top 7. I found these top 7 very, very unique, each for a different reason. Let's get started. We've got the Trevor Burger EXK. This one I have carried a lot. And I've actually used this one quite a bit whenever I'm out. It's just a really fun carry. Aesthetics is the reason. And the fact that I can use the knife and you can't tell, it was another reason. It's just a beautiful, beautiful knife. The action on it, another reason why, is drop shut smooth. I barely even have to flick it. It has a soft detent on it. It's just fantastic. Just fantastic. It feels great in my hand. So let's go over the materials. We've got blue carbon fiber twill bolsters. And we've got black carbon fiber handles on the knife. You've got a really beautiful little blue pocket clip, and the back spacer is also carbon fiber, a full carbon fiber back spacer on this knife. The front flipping action on this is just easy peasy. I just love it. You know, the size really turns me on. The materials that they put together on it is just fantastic. So yeah, that's why this is actually the first on my list for the top 7. The next piece is called the Deshorn Small Ball Release. This one made my top 7. Again, this mysterious material on the bolster, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of a metal that he has shaped by hand. I'm sure he probably had to heat it to be able to shape it, and then I don't know, maybe he like froze it, so because it is rock hard material now, but at one point you can tell it was pliable, and of course he made all these little indentations in the bolster there. It just makes a very, very unique art piece. The ball release mechanism is fantastic. I do love that. Again, 2K gloss, which he's very, very famous for spraying on his handles there to give it sort of that wonderful sheen. You've got a really, really beautiful Damascus blade on this. Another reason why it made my list. Because this is forged, double tempered, and dipped in liquid nitrogen 4 times. So I mean, it's just there's a lot of work that went into this little tiny knife. It's just incredible, an incredible work. Again, look at how intricate the file work is on it. I mean, that's insane, and that's a small knife. I mean, I don't know how the hell he's able to do that by hand, but it's a small knife. There's a lot of detail work on this. So for the fact that there's that much detail on such a small knife, his attention to that is the reason it made my list, because it turns out to be one of the more beautiful customs in my collection. The next knife is made by Willem Steenkamp. This is the Hornet Junior model. Which is just fantastic. I love the size. Kind of reminds me of the 0900 knife. It's just amazing. It's amazing. The purple and the black go well together. You got purple liners, and then the black marble carbon fiber, and then the matching purple Damascus pivot on there. Just makes it a wonderful combination. And then again, he finishes it off with this black titanium back spacer. It's just gorgeous overall. So it's just a fantastically aesthetically pleasing overall package, as well as a really handsome looking draw point blade. And it's small. I mean, it's basically, it's a big little knife. That's one of the reasons why it made my list, because it's a big little knife, and I love that. The next one on my list is a slip joint, and the only slip joint in my entire collection. This one is made by J.D. Ellis. This one was made for me. We've got the stars and stripes. It's what I call my 4th of July knife. Look at the screws on the knife are very old-fashioned, gold-colored, like a little slip joint knife you probably would have carried during World War II kind of thing. It's just absolutely fantastic. Beautiful Wharncliffe style blade on there. It's just absolutely fantastic. When he made this knife for me, he was telling me how difficult it was to do the stars on the knife. He said it's really hard to do that. And, yeah, I believe him. The knife is just a fantastic. I mean, I've carried it on occasion when I felt like carrying a slip joint. And unfortunately, it's the only one that I own. I love to have more. I'm planning on having at least, 3 more in my collection. Big, medium, small, another set of slip joints. Actually, this knife was supposed to be part of a project. I actually had 4 different knife makers to make me a different knife for each holiday. I was going to have a 4th of July knife, a Thanksgiving knife, a Christmas knife to round out the whole project. And I picked specifically 4 different knife makers. And unfortunately, because of finances, this is the only knife that succumbed out of that project. I'm probably going to continue on once my knife addiction has calmed down. I'm going to pick that up again and continue with having those holiday knives go on in the collection, and maybe have it put in a special box. So that, it was a great idea. I just couldn't afford to have it all done at once. So I will probably be contacting those guys again to do the project again and be a part of it. It's just going to be fantastic and something to see on Instagram. This one is made by John Arnold, and one of the reasons that it made my top 10 list, and I'm not going to do it for you, but I actually did do the video on this knife. If you want to check 2 videos back, you'll see that the scales on this knife glow in the dark, glow green in the dark. This is called the, oh God, I can't remember the name of this one. The John Arnold MIDI Simba Tactical Small Folder. There you go. And yeah, the scales glow in the dark. And yeah, again, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to see that, go back down 2 videos before this one, and you'll see that the scales do glow in the dark. It's an amazing knife. He gives me an M390 blade, a nice Wharncliffe style blade on there, with a carbon fiber back spacer. But again, the scales are the star of the show. Also, the pivot is a Moonglow pivot. In other words, you see how it's white? When you turn the lights out, that actually turns bright green, and it's really cool. So, my next, but certainly not my last, this is the Arucas Blumeris L06 front flipper piece. This is one of his more popular small model knives. This one is pivotless, which is one of the reasons why it made my list. When I mean pivotless, you don't see the pivot. It's hidden on the knife. Here we just have a bolster covering it. It just makes it look much more classier than the regular pivot knives that you see where the pivot is sticking out of the knife. The pivotless feature just makes the knife more classier. It's got beautiful copper color. Going all the way throughout the knife. You've got the copper carbon fiber. You've got an M390 blade, and here's what's cool. You also have an M390 bag spacer. Iroquois Bloomeris is very, very famous for doing weird things with his bag spacer. It's just something that he does. That's another thing, is that you're buying the maker and all of his eccentricities and the way he approaches his art when he creates a piece. And Iroquois Bloomeris is definitely one of those guys that stands out. His front flipper is not obtrusive at all. It's very small. You can open it with your thumb like you just saw me do. No problem. And you can also do it with your index finger. You just kind of pull. Either way, it's really very, very comfortable. So again, the uniqueness of this knife is the aesthetics, that it's all copper. And of course, what he does with the backspacer is pretty wild. So Iroquois Bloomeris 06. L06 front flipper. That's the name of it. Wish they'd actually have real names. Like this knife here actually has a real name. This one made my top 10, my top 7 medium as my last one on the video. This one made it just because the color combination is absolutely gorgeous with the blue and the black theme running all the way throughout the knife. And the fact that this is actually a smaller version of a much larger knife called the Samson front flipper. This is the Samson front flipper Junior. He basically took that knife and shrunk it down, and it is just as beautiful as the larger brother. We've got blue bolsters, blue pivot, the blue carbon fiber on it. It's just absolutely stunning. We've got marble carbon fiber for the scales, blue theme all the way around, and a bright blue anodized titanium pocket clip. And then the backspacer is also carbon fiber blue. Now here's what's cool about this knife. If you look on the inside, see the little knife has those little sparkles in there? Sparkles of gold or copper or whatever. That is just spectacular to see on such a small knife. Every little thing with these South African knives is an artwork and something that the knife maker has created for your eyes and to enjoy. I mean, it's, and at the same time, you know, obviously it's a tool. You're going to be using this thing, so. But, you know, when it's in your pocket, it makes a nice conversation piece, you know. I mean, this is definitely, people see this knife, they're just going to be drawn to it, go, wow, that looks awesome. You know, it's just really pretty. I think that that's what really gets lost in the world of custom knives, is that, yes, it's a tool, but if you wanted a tool, you'll just buy a regular knife. You wouldn't go for stuff like this that costs so much. We're buying these things because someone made them by hand. They are works of art. Each piece you see is a different mechanical sculpture. That needs to be stressed each time I pick up a knife. I have to make sure people understand that that's why I'm into this hobby. But yet, you know, you go to a museum and you see, you know, the Mona Lisa, they don't question, oh yeah, it's art, it's fantastic. Well, why can't this be seen the same way? These materials are very hard to come by. You have to be quite knowledgeable in putting these materials together to know that they are sturdy enough to double as the outside to be used as a tool. I don't think a lot of people get that, and that's what seems to be missing in this hobby, is trying to get people to understand that we are buying these things because they are more works of art than tools. And with that being said, that's the end of this video. I'm going to be back one more time. I'm going to show you my top 3 knives in the entire collection. My top large knife, my top number 1 large knife, my top number 1 medium knife, and my top number 1 small knife. And I've got that video coming up next, so I will see you guys in the final video for this evening. And that will be part 3. So in the meantime, I will see you guys in a little bit to end this series. So catch you later.